MrBeast is in a lot of hot water at the minute, from Ava Chris Tyson, Amazon Prime show Beast Games being well, just exposed as quite the unprepared mess, and also Dogpack 404 unpacking some serious trauma about his time working over at MrBeast and shedding some light on some very serious allegations. Now, today I'm going to be talking to AI about all of this and how it can affect MrBeast going forward, what's actually going on, and also just see what AI's opinion is on it all, because obviously, if anyone's going to be informed on it, it'll be artificial intelligence. So, ChatGPT, what do you know about the current MrBeast scandals?
You're diving into some big topics here.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Ava Chris Tyson situation.
Okay.
Chris Tyson, who has been a longtime member of MrBeast's team, has recently been in the spotlight because of their gender transition and the way this has been received by some of MrBeast's audience.
Yes.
The controversy comes from fans who aren't sure how to respond to the news, with some vocal backlash on social media.
Yep.
This situation is more than just a personal matter. It's become tied to MrBeast's brand because Chris has been such a visible part of his videos.
Yeah.
The impact on MrBeast moving forward could be a potential divide in his fan base, with some supportive of Chris's journey and others less open to it. MrBeast has publicly supported Chris, but this level of attention may shift how certain audiences view the channel. What are your thoughts on starting with the Chris Tyson controversy before we move on to the Amazon Prime show Beast Games? We can dig deeper into each point as we go.
Well, let's just talk about Ava Chris Tyson a little bit more, because obviously that was what started all of this, was the gender transition, which I think a lot of people, compared to what's come out recently, are a lot more forgiving of. Not that there's anything wrong with gender transition at all, and it should be accepted within the community, but obviously what people are less forgiving of is the alleged Discord messages that Ava Chris Tyson had with minors and underage people. What can you tell me about that and the alleged minor talkings to, and how he was basically removed from MrBeast's team?
The controversy surrounding Ava Chris Tyson's alleged interactions on Discord with minors really turned the tide of public opinion.
Absolutely.
While the gender transition was something that sparked initial discussion, many fans were willing to accept it over time. However, the accusations about inappropriate conversations with minors became a much more serious issue.
Absolutely.
The allegations suggest that Chris was involved in some questionable conversations with underage individuals on Discord. And while the full details are still murky, this led to a lot of negative press. It also raised concerns about the kind of vetting and behavior happening behind the scenes on MrBeast's team.
100%.
As a result, Chris has been less visible in MrBeast's content recently. And while there hasn't been an official statement saying they were outright removed, their absence speaks volumes. This is the type of scandal that could severely impact MrBeast's image. He's built his brand on being wholesome and family-friendly, so anything involving minors and inappropriate behavior is bound to have a ripple effect. Moving forward, MrBeast will likely have to address how he handles team members and whether stronger internal policies are put in place to prevent similar controversies. Do you think this scandal will lead to MrBeast distancing himself more from personal relationships with his team, or do you see another direction?
Well, you're actually wrong about one thing, and it's the only part that I'm going to pull you up on, is the fact that there has been an official statement from Ava Chris Tyson themselves over on X, in which they stated that they would be stepping away, and MrBeast also put up a statement stating that Ava Chris Tyson would not be a part of the channel anymore. So, just a bit of information to update you with there. But what do you know about? Oh, it's just cut me off. Cheers.
Thanks for the update. That official statement really clarifies the situation. With both Chris and MrBeast confirming that Chris is stepping away, it's clear that the allegations and public pressure led to a pretty definitive separation.
Yep.
This is a major move for MrBeast, as Chris was such a core part of his team for so long.
Absolutely.
How do you think this will impact MrBeast's relationship with his audience moving forward? especially since Chris was such a fan favorite. Do you think this will help to calm the controversy, or could it stir up more questions?
I think it just answered the question that everyone had. I mean, they wouldn't let Chris go if there wasn't, actual substance to the allegations. But let's move on to the Beast Games situation. What can you tell me about the current controversies surrounding Beast Games and the Amazon Prime show that MrBeast has collaborated with?
The Beast Games collaboration with Amazon Prime has faced a lot of heat recently, mainly for being unorganized and not living up to the hype that fans expected. The show was meant to be a high budget, high stakes competition, but a lot of viewers and participants have come forward, saying that it felt rushed and poorly planned. There were also rumors of mismanagement behind the scenes. Contestants mentioned confusion about the rules, poor communication, and even safety concerns. All of this adds up to a picture of a show that just didn't meet the production standards people associate with MrBeast's usual content. The collaboration with Amazon Prime was supposed to be a massive leap forward in his career, but it ended up exposing some cracks in his ability to handle larger, more complex productions.
Yeah.
This could affect MrBeast's brand by making viewers question whether he can scale his vision while maintaining the quality they're used to. If he wants to move into more mainstream media or bigger projects, the Beast Games controversy shows he might need to rethink his approach to production management and planning. Do you think these missteps with Beast Games will cause MrBeast to rethink future large-scale collaborations? Or could he bounce back from this by learning from the experience?
Well, only time will be able to tell with that one, but can you tell me more about the safety concerns surrounding this? Because, of course, a lot of participants came forward to talk about medication issues. People allegedly saw other participants having seizures. There was supposed to only be 1,000 contestants, but there turned out to be 2,000 contestants. What can you tell me about the safety concerns and also what the conditions were like for the participants during their time on the set?
The safety concerns surrounding Beast Games have really raised eyebrows, especially after multiple contestants spoke out about the conditions they faced. One major issue was the significant overcrowding. While the show was initially set up to host 1,000 contestants, around 2,000 reportedly showed up, which led to chaos in managing such a large group.
Absolutely.
Participants also mentioned that there were delays in getting necessary medications to those who needed them, and some even reported seeing other contestants experience seizures on set without proper medical support. This is alarming because it suggests that the production team was underprepared to handle medical emergencies, especially given the physical and mental demands of the competition. The overall conditions described by some contestants were uncomfortable at best. There were long wait times between activities, poor communication about what was happening next, and inadequate provisions for basic needs like food, water, and rest. The atmosphere was described as more of a disorganized mess than the high-budget production fans expected. These safety and logistical issues could seriously harm MrBeast's reputation if they aren't addressed publicly. Someone whose brand thrives on creating unforgettable experiences, this kind of oversight could make viewers question how much he values the well-being of those involved in his projects. Do you think this will
Fair.
push MrBeast to be more transparent about behind-the-scenes processes in the future to avoid further backlash?
Well, again, only time can tell with that one. But the final controversy, of course, that MrBeast has been facing is basically a lack of due diligence on who he's been hiring and, alleged content being faked and other scandals that have basically been covered up and to try and maintain the image of MrBeast's brand. What can you tell me about those, especially from the YouTuber Dogpack404, who's been unpacking a lot of the controversies?
The controversy surrounding MrBeast's alleged fake content and hiring practices has become a significant issue. with YouTuber Dogpack404 playing a big role in bringing these matters to light. One of the main points raised by Dogpack404 is that MrBeast's hiring process lacks the due diligence needed for someone running such a large operation. This has allegedly led to the hiring of problematic individuals who, behind the scenes, may not have been properly vetted. Dogpack404 also claims that much of MrBeast's content, which appears spontaneous and authentic, is actually heavily scripted or manipulated to create a certain narrative. This isn't an uncommon accusation for large YouTubers, but it hits hard for MrBeast because his brand is built on transparency, charity, and authenticity. If audiences begin to feel like they are being deceived, it could severely damage the trust that has been the foundation of his success. These claims suggest that MrBeast may be more focused on maintaining his polished public image rather than addressing some of the real issues that occur behind the scenes. If it's true that some controversies have been swept under the rug, it could signal a larger problem with how his team manages public perception versus internal integrity. How do you think this will affect his fan base's loyalty, especially if more allegations come out? Could this in how audiences perceive not just MrBeast, but large content creators in general?
Well, that's the question that I want to ask you. How does all of this affect MrBeast, not just as an individual, but as a brand moving forward? How could this damage his reputation? How could this damage his fan base, his loyalty? And what are the further implications that could happen if this continues to go unaddressed?
This is where things get tricky for MrBeast, because his brand is more than just him as an individual.
Absolutely.
It's a massive operation with millions of loyal followers, corporate partnerships, and a reputation built on goodwill and authenticity. Each of these controversies, whether it's Chris Tyson's departure, the safety issues with Beast Games, or accusations of fake content, all chip away at that carefully built image. If these issues continue to go unaddressed, the implications could be serious. 1, damage to reputation. MrBeast's entire brand thrives on being seen as trustworthy, charitable, and genuine. If people begin to think that the content they love isn't as real or spontaneous as it seems, it could erode the trust he's worked so hard to build. This could especially harm his charitable ventures, as fans might begin to question the transparency behind those efforts too. 2, loyalty decline. His fan base, which includes a wide range of ages, may start to lose faith in him if these controversies aren't handled properly. Fans who were once diehard supporters might slowly disengage, or worse, turn against him, which could impact viewership, engagement, and overall growth. 3, corporate sponsorships. Brands want to align themselves with creators who have a positive image. If the negative press keeps building, some of MrBeast's corporate partners may pull back from future collaborations, which could hurt both his content and financial stability. The Amazon Prime collaboration was a major step, but if that project is seen as a failure, it may discourage other big players from working with him. 4, longevity as a creator. The further these allegations go without being directly addressed, the more they could spiral out of control. This could affect MrBeast's long-term standing in the industry. As he grows, he'll need to learn how to manage larger teams and productions, ensuring that his content remains true to its core values while scaling appropriately. If he doesn't take stronger steps to control these narratives, he could find himself in a situation where the controversies overshadow the content, leading to a slow but steady decline in influence. Fans might forgive 1 or 2 missteps, but if the hits keep coming, it'll be hard to bounce back. Do you think MrBeast can recover by addressing these issues head-on? Or could we see a shift where fans start to look for other creators who offer the same kind of content with less controversy?
Well, I think because MrBeast's audience is predominantly made up of children, they don't particularly care for controversy or drama, and they might not necessarily be looking for that, so they might just watch MrBeast regardless. So maybe this won't have as much of a detrimental effect on MrBeast as people seem to think.
That's a really good point, and it's true that a large portion of MrBeast's audience is younger and may not be as engaged with the controversy or care about the behind-the-scenes drama. For those kids, they're just tuning in for the entertainment, watching fun challenges, giveaways, and exciting stunts. Because of this, MrBeast may not see an immediate or drastic drop in viewership. Kids, especially, tend to be loyal to creators they enjoy and often don't dive into the more serious aspects surrounding those creators.
True.
So, while these scandals could affect his adult audience,
Yeah.
sponsors, and industry reputation, it's possible his core fan base could remain largely intact. However, if MrBeast wants to continue growing beyond YouTube and securing partnerships with major brands, these controversies could create hurdles in the future. His biggest challenge might not be his current audience, but expanding his influence while avoiding further controversies that could limit his brand's long-term potential.
Very true.
It'll be interesting to see how he navigates this moving forward. Do you think he'll address the controversies publicly? Or will he just keep pushing forward with new content to distract from the drama?
Well, I think that he needs to address it, but that's what AI's opinion is on the whole situation. And actually, it raises some very, very valid points, ones that I didn't think of. Obviously, when I think about the whole situation and the MrBeast drama, I think that, well, his core fan base are made up of children who don't care about the drama. But I never thought about the logistics of it. Partnering up with other huge brands, having these huge brand deals in place which are financially stabilizing him and giving him the opportunity to create the sets that he is and giving away the kind of money that he is, which could also have some kind of domino effect later on down the line, which means that, you know, we could see a steady decline in MrBeast if this isn't handled or addressed properly. What do you guys think though? Is AI on the money with this, or do you think that there is a lot more to this that AI might be missing? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button if you have not already, and subscribe if you're new. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.